What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. We've got a huge unboxing for you. There's a ton of stuff in this video that we learned about and picked up or acquired through having conversations at ICAST. So lots of cool stuff that we get to give you a first look perspective on, unboxing today, and then stay tuned because we're gonna obviously review all these things over the course of time. We love to do an end of year wrap up where we go back and talk about things that we used during the season. Rest assured, we're gonna beat the crap out of every product that you guys see on this channel. So first look today in this unboxing, and then many more beatdowns later. How do we still feel about these? This is what we love to do on this channel. Also, by the way, check it out. I got a new microphone. I'm proud of it. I'm not unboxing a microphone on this channel because that's not what this channel is. Hopefully our audio quality improves because this is the third time I'm filming this unboxing because my last mic's crapped out on me. So what are we looking at in this video? We've got a ton of stuff from Yak Attack, Yum. I've got a crazy BFS reel here from RAR Fishing. We've got Evolution Fishing stuff that's brand new from ICAST. We got some TFO rods. We've got some deck boots of all things. We've got all sorts of stuff. So let's get right into it. Oh, and by the way, where's Paul? Paul is missing. JK, he's in his office, so he's gonna share some stuff with you as well from another company, Bambooey Bear, AKA the coolest hat in town, and he's gonna be unboxing at his office. So this is a separate unboxing. We do this from time to time. Real quick, top of the video, I always got to call this out. Every product in this video we got for free. I think I spent a total of 20 bucks, which covered the taxes and shipping on the Yum products that you're going to see in this video. We are so thankful that we're in a position where we can pull this off. To be clear, that doesn't guarantee a 5-star rating on any of these products. We're always going to be honest and authentic with you guys. We tell these companies ahead of time. We say, hey, can we test this product out? If they say yes, we say great. Heads up, we're going to be honest with our feedback on that. Are you cool with this? And they say yes, and we say great. We never accept any payment through sponsorships, and we don't do affiliate links that give us a kickback. However, if we can get a discount, which sometimes we can, we're gonna offer it right back to you guys. So whenever I can get a code for you, we're gonna do that, and we'll post it on the screen, put it in our description, all that stuff, and see if we can save you some money if you like the products you see. You don't have to like anything in this video. We're just here to show you it. That's what unboxings are. And keep in mind, we are gonna test these throughout the season and give you more feedback on them later. So our opinions might change, just as a heads up. So let's start out with the mass quantity stuff. I've got about $1,000 worth of Yak Attack accessories right here that I'm excited to share with you, including one that is brand spanking new. So I guess we start with that. If you guys haven't seen this getting promoted on the Yak Attack channel over on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, you might be under a rock because this is like all they've been talking about. This is their new phone accessory holder. Now, this is like the premiere version of it. There's 3 different options you have to pick this thing up, but it's pretty neat. Check this out. So they took their Roto Grip, this old accessory. Lots of people use this for paddle holders. I've used it to hold everything from paddles to bump boards, you name it. Like, it holds on to a lot of things. And they expanded it a little bit. Now, the cool thing about this is it actually fits your phone, pretty sure universally, but here, let's take a look. So your phone just kind of like snaps into here, and it's very secure. Now, I haven't used the tether just yet, but look at this. Like, it's not going anywhere. You try and throw it, won't come off. So it's gonna be good to go. Even if you bump it, like straight up full slap that thing, it's not coming out. So very secure. This was like the medium to larger size phone. So there you go. Not sure if you guys saw a video we did a long time ago, probably like 3-4 years ago, but Rogue Fishing Co. makes accessories similar to this. So this is Yak Attack's take on that accessory. You've got a locking carabiner that attaches onto a molded in tether point on this thing. And then you take your phone and you just wrap this silicone piece around the corners. And once you've done that, your phone is secure. Oh gosh, bungee jumping, right? So your phone is super secure there. That way, worst case scenario, as you saw, it's hard to do, but worst case scenario, if you were to bump your phone, it's still tethered to this point. And then you've got Yak Attack's universal mount here. So if I detach this, you can just take this thing off or rotate it around however you want. You've probably seen this base before. Fits a bunch of their other accessories. Personally, we like to have our phone up at the front of the kayak in case we want to do some videos out on the water. This is a great way to make that happen. But if you want to have access to your phone and not be scared about dropping it into the water, this might be a good option. So on their website, you can see that we actually have it from 30 to 70 bucks. So 30 bucks if you want to just get the tether and the Roto Grip. If you want to get the smaller base, then it's 50 bucks. The main version, the kind of all-in-one here, is 70 bucks. So just so you know the price points on that one. Pretty cool accessory, similar to the panfish mount where you can mount GoPros, other things. If you want to film on your phone, it's a great option. I'll be using that on my kayaks for a while, so I'll let you guys know over time how I feel about that with a further review in the future. Next up, we got the Yak Attack Leaderboard, which just recently came out. You'll notice here that we got Kayak Adventure Series, we've got KBF, we've got the Kayak Bass Team Series, so it's supported by all those organizations, and I'm sure we'll see this in more organizations. Neat thing about this versus a catchboard, which I've been using a catchboard for a long time, this one floats, right? So you can see on the back here, we've got some foam filler in there. It's not too heavy, it's kind of bulky, but there are different ways that we can store this thing, and there's some nifty features on this. So up front here, you can see instead of maybe using a decal like a lot of organizations will have you do, you have a little mirror so your judges can really see that the fish's mouth is closed up against that. You've also got a concave or almost like a V shape of the board, so that's gonna help fish lie center on this. And then this goes up to 28 inches. This is probably one of my favorite features is you've got this little culling tabs, right? 3 of them in here. So as you're catching fish throughout a tournament, you move this up to your previously marked fish. And then your next fish after, say it's a 5-fish tournament, so your next fish, you want to pass this marker, right? So it needs to be bigger than this if we're going to cull it from the tournament. If you're under this marker, toss that fish back in the water. Don't really need to take a picture of it unless you're recording it for other purposes. It just helps you keep track of all those catches other than being in your head or going back into your app and looking at all your catches. So just something that can help you throughout the day. They do have a tourney tag that comes with it automatically. So you take these little 3M Velcro pieces there's 4 of them, and you take their little weatherproof pocket for your tournament cards, put it on there. That way when you take your picture, it's present, it's visible, judges can see it. Another option as a separate accessory is you can get one of these ones, and this will sit this way on the board, so it's maybe a little bit more visible, just another option. You could have 2 on here. You could add another one right here. So depending on how many tournaments you're fishing for at the same time, if they allow a single catch to be in multiple tournaments, multiple entries, you can have all those tags laying out. Pretty nifty. And where do I put this board? Well, one, it floats, so I'm less nervous about this. I've been at tournaments when I did the Kayak Adventure Series. We had a buddy we were fishing with there. His name was Brian. Unfortunately, knocked his catchboard overboard day 1 of a 2-day tournament, and guess what? Catchboards sink. Lots of these boards sink. This one floats, so you're gonna be safer with this one. And if you want it out of the way, something you can do is pick up one of these. So this is their Roto Grip holder. You'll notice it's got this little tab right there. So what you do is you take the outside edge of this here and you just snap it in, and it goes in really easily. The good news is it doesn't come out very easily. You have to bump it back, right? So you have to knock it this way, away from the rollers to get that free. So I pop it out, do my measurement, put it back in. There you go. It's super easy, really convenient, and you've got a track mount right here. So this can sit on the outside edge of your boat via whatever track you have on your kayak. We'll add some links in the descriptions below to the different websites where these products are held so you can see prices on all of these as well. But the leaderboard itself goes for 60 bucks, and each of those accessories is probably gonna run anywhere from $20 to $35. But other than that, coming in hot from Yak Attack, we're gonna be rigging out 2 inflatables and 2 new kayaks that we just picked up with the rest of these accessories. We've got everything from a new tournament light to a million of these cup holders. I love these things. We've got gridlock track that we're gonna be throwing on our black packs. We've got this awesome thing. This is the Mighty Mount switch mount. So the switch is designed for universal mounting on inflatables. They have a very specifically sized mounting platform, so you can pop this thing on there and then you can mount any track accessory to that. We're gonna be throwing on some track packs. So we have a whole bunch of these track packs, track mounts, and look, they even included the new cutting board that goes on top of the track pack, which is super cool, because we're definitely going to be using a lot of cut bait, maybe doing some ceviche on the water, if you will. Those are going to be super convenient on our inflatables because it gives us a separate place to store extra plastic and baits without having hooks lying all around on the floor. As much as everybody's nervous about inflatables these days, they are heavily reinforced. So the risk is actually pretty low when it comes to hooks on your baits penetrating your inflatable boats and kayaks. That's the good news. The other thing to think about though is that I don't want these baits lying around everywhere anyways, so track pack as an accessory on inflatable, I think is like huge in terms of an upgrade. One other thing we picked up from them, I needed some wheels, so we went ahead and got the Yak Attack Bunkster. This is a great set of wheels for anybody looking for a kayak cart. I think it's awesome. I already knew it was good because Paul actually has had one of these for a while. I had an Amazon one. It was fine. What's nice about this is that it's got much larger wheels, 2 kickstands, and it comes apart. So while it's much pricier, about $100 more than the Amazon one was that I got, it's one of the best on the market. So I'm excited to be using that. This is maybe the heaviest box of baits we've ever gotten on the channel. So this is full of Yum plastics. And there's basically 4 types of plastics in here, maybe 5 types of plastics. Most notably, we wanted to show off this thing that we found. These were on sale, about $46, but the Yum Mighty Bag. If you guys haven't heard of this, it's 100 plastics that you can get on LureNet right now if you want to pick it up, or if you see this in a tackle store. I haven't seen it in any of my local stores, but if you guys see it, awesome. Check them out. It comes with 4 different colors. You see 25, 25, 25, 25. This is the green pumpkin faves. So we've got 25 green pumpkin, 25 green pumpkin with a neon tail, 25 green pumpkin blue, and then 25 green pumpkin purple. One bag, 100 baits, 25 of each color. This could last, depending on how much you fish, if you're Texas rigging, if you're wacky rigging, whatever you're doing, this could last you a long time. So, and you could just have one bag. Reminds me of like resealable protein powders or dog foods. So very interesting. We got 4 different ones of these. They also have quantities of 30 and 100 in their bulk packs. So we picked up some of our favorite colors we know we're going to be burning throughout the year of the Yum Dingers, 5-inch specifically. It's like the go-to in like green pumpkin blue and just common colors that we use. Then we picked up some bigger sizes in the Sonar Minnow. We've been loving these, either on the ball head jig or fishing it weightless, like a weightless fluke. Works really well. It's been a go-to this summer. The colors they have on these are pretty solid. So we picked up the 10 Killer Gold, which is great. And then my other go-to has been this one, Houdini Shad. Great natural color as well. Also needed some flukes. So we got some of these to try out. I've never used these from Yum, but they look solid. Called the Breakin' Shad. These were super cheap, so if you're looking for a really affordable fluke, I think these are a great option. Dense plastic, thick main body, kind of a thinner head section there. Maybe get snagged a little bit less when you're rigging it weedless. Nice wide, flat fork tail coming off the back. These are gonna be great. Got them in 4 or 5 different colors to fish with. We did get some of the 4-inch Yum Dingers as well, and I think there's some craws in here somewhere. Tell you what though, this has been our go-to color. A little hint of chartreuse is like key bluegill forage around here. And then finally, we did go with some of their 3.25-inch craw chunks in a couple of their premium colors. It's like $1.25 more a bag, but they've got some really cool colors. So here's a little black and blue. Call this one Black Blue Shadow. So some jig trailers, chatterbait, buzzbait, you know, whatever we want to use it for. And the whole purpose of picking up this box, by the way, this massive quantity of plastics, was we wanted to make a change in terms of the tackle that we take out with us. We wanted consistency. So because of how this channel works, because we try everything, companies send us different things to try out as well. We've just got so many random colors and types of worms and flukes and all this stuff. Think about if you wanted to catch fish more consistently, or if you wanted to perform better in tournaments, you want like less options of things that you believe in that also are consistent fish catchers. That's what we're going for this, and we're going with the budget approach. So in the future, maybe a couple weeks or so before the fishing season ends, we want to do a budget fishing video where we take a budget combo, like a budget bait caster setup, so a sub $200 rod reel, as well as, you know, cheap plastics with us, and we just go flip around, find out, have a good time with as little expense as humanly possible, with a massive amount of what we would call value. So stay tuned for that budget fishing video. It should be a blast. We had a really good live podcast talking about all things budget. We had Debo's fishing on there. We had RAR fishing on there. We had Ethan Duvetter fish anything on there. It was a freaking blast. So we wanted to turn that into like a full-on fishing video too. Coming soon. So that's a lot of Yum. Okay, really excited about this one. So next up, we got a little gift here from RAR Fishing. It's gonna let us borrow this hyper fancy BFS reel. Now this is a CNC machined metal reel coming from Long Z. If you guys aren't familiar with Long Z, they are a Chinese CNC manufacturing company, and they make some really cool reels that are, you know, CNC'd metal. Probably heard of CNC'd metal reels from companies like Bates. Now Bates actually is working with Long Z to make those reels, so this is actually really familiar. I'm not surprised at all that they use a metal tag to do all their specs, but there's the specs on this reel. So this is the Airlight BFS. It's the B101 Air HG model. So it's a 7, the reflection on here makes it hard to read, but it's a 7 1-to-1. It weighs 4.9 ounces, and it comes in just this hot pink / purple / lavender color. Look at this thing, it's freaking nuts. So all metal body, super light, feels really comfortable in hand, feels really smooth. Rar Fishing said it was an amazing reel. Decided to find out for myself. I'm gonna flip around with BFS and find out. That's what I'm gonna do. Pop this side plate off. So the side plate actually unscrews, which is wild to me. There's your braking system, what they call the Matrix, the MBS, Matrix braking system, the inside there. So yeah, I mean, obviously we're gonna be testing this out. We're gonna find out how we feel about it. But from what I've heard from Rar Fishing, it's fantastic and we're gonna have a great time with this. Also, look at the knobs on this thing. Little tornado, little metal tornado. Wild. We're gonna be testing this out on the Yak Rod's BFS rod. Unboxed this a while ago. I've been using it most of the season for my secondary BFS setup, which was paired up with the Cormorant BFS reel. We call it the Dark Knight. Got this one from Nako Fishing. Pretty cool, super light reel. We're gonna see how the Yak Rods does with this reel next. All right, so that brings us to 2 products that Paul and I both have, and then I'm gonna segue to Paul in his office. We both got our hands on one of the new updated TFO Professional rods. If you guys haven't used a TFO Professional rod before, you're missing out. 119 bucks, punches up high in value. One of our favorite like $100 to $150 rods that we would go for. I recommend this rod nonstop, so does Paul. Now, they usually have more of a moderate action, so I'll throw that at you. That said, not a bad thing, and I think they cover a wide spectrum of options with this too. So this is a 7.6 medium heavy. I use this for crankbaits, small glide baits, and swim baits as well, and it does a really good job. Don't yell at me for having my hook up here, all right? The one thing about this rod that bothers me is that the hook keeper is way down here, as you can see. So that's like my one. If I was gonna gripe about this thing at all, it's that, and it doesn't fit like trebles and stuff. So typically when I'm using this, I'm rigging it up on the reel. You can yell at me if you want to. That said, I might just grab a hook keeper or something that I can pop up here. Makes it a lot easier for kayak fishing when you're storing these in your crates. You don't want to have that hook or the bait way down here. It won't fit in the rod tube. Really like the updated fit and finish. So they've improved the color options here. That locking nut for the reel seat is made of premium cork. You've got exposed blank underneath there, so get a good feel as you're fishing this thing. Very comfortable in hand, pretty dang lightweight. But feels like it'll hold up to just about anything. These things are durable. I beat the tar out of one over the last 2 seasons, and I've had a lot of fun with building different combos on these rods. We're also using some high quality sea guides on there as well. Telling you guys, this combo right here, I've got my SLX DC on here, 30-pound braid to fluorocarbon leader, and then I'm throwing this is a little S-waver, but those up to 1 ounce glide baits, because this goes 3/8 to 1 ounce. So smaller glide baits, just about all my crankbaits. At a 7.6, I can bomb this thing out there, especially if I combo it with that DC. A lot of fun to fish this thing. Last thing I want to show you guys, shoes. We don't talk about apparel on this channel just about at all, although we should from time to time. We're gonna mix it into some of our unboxings because when you go out on the water, you need to fish comfortably. You need to have the right kind of sunglasses, you have the right kinds of shoes, raincoat, sun shirt, whatever, all that apparel stuff. We're not gonna do full apparel unboxings, don't worry, but we'll throw them in from time to time. And this is one of those examples. So I've never used deck boots before. I know they're cool, I've just never seen the need for them on my kayak. However, this fall, these are gonna be fantastic. So these are from Under Armour. So this is the updated Shoreman deck boot series from Under Armour. Come in a bunch of different colors and sizes. We ended up with some samples to try. You can see sample, not for resale. So we're gonna beat the crap out of these. A couple cool features I noticed on these, having never used a deck boot before myself, they actually have this heel lock cushion. So if you, no matter how you wear these things, if you go socks, no socks, which if you go no socks, they're gonna stank, but your feet are gonna lock into these. So you're not gonna get that heel slip that you get with boots sometimes, especially mids, that'll end up blistering. I know this works because we actually already wore these for an entire day. Like I said, we already unboxed all this stuff like 3 times because my mic was broken, so my mics didn't work. Video messed up. Got to reshoot it. That's what we're doing here. So I've already worn these for an entire day. We actually drove out to Waterdog Outfitters in Whitehall, Michigan. Shout out to Steve over there. We tested out 8 different kayaks, made a bunch of different videos to share with you guys, and we wore these the entire time. So you see them in those videos. We were all over the place. I was jumping in the water. I was walking through the muck, running up and down hills. See the base here? Pretty good grip setup that they've got on this, so it's supposed to be sticky on slippery surfaces. We'll test that when I get to a boat ramp, but it held up great for that day, even on wet grass going up and downhill. Waterproof outside of this, I mean, I didn't have any leakage whatsoever. Comfortable area around the ankle there. It's all neoprene, it's super soft, feels good. Dual tabs here so you can shove your feetsies in this thing. Yeah, overall, like super comfortable. Like I said, I wore it the entire day. It wasn't a cold day either, and they breathed pretty good. So 78 degrees that day, not bad. My feet weren't like sweating crazy or anything. Neat boots, 115 bucks a pair. I think that's about standard for deck boots, nothing crazy there. Like I said, you guys know us, we're gonna beat the tar out of these things and we'll let you know. If they fall apart on us, we're gonna call them out for that, but they look good so far. Hopefully we can get our hands on Under Armour's new water shoe that's dropping as well. It's not quite out yet. We're gonna see, we're gonna keep in contact with them, see if we can get our hands on it, and we'll test that out for you too. That's all I have in my office for you guys. Let's go over to Paul in his office where he can share you the other goodies. Later.
What's up, nerds? Welcome to my office. Jeff got you started. I'm going to take you across the finish line. Another product from ICAST, and as a follow-up, they actually sent us some products. So this is Evolution Fishing. They do hunting and fishing and a whole, what they do? They have tactical stuff, they have coolers, they have tons of different stuff, but fishing's a huge part of what they do. They make tackle boxes, backpacks, bags, all sorts of things. And in this case, we have here their Rigger Series Line Master Leader Bag. Now, technically, this is for a leader line, but you can use this for anything. But basically, what it's going to do is it's going to hold 5 spools. Pull them open for you. So there's your 5 spools right there. It can technically hold 7, but there are only 5 spooling holes here. And these are the same kind of, this is basically a guide, right? So it's going to keep from abrading your line. And then here, there's this like mini pouch, and it's just Velcro that's actually going to hold your line when you're not using it. So it keeps it out of the way, but also holds it in place. So you can see I've just got like a piece dangling here. It's not going to shoot back in or anything like that. So all you do, if you want some line, you're just going to pull some out, snip it off, and boom, you got your leader line, whatever it is that you need. So I have in here 4-pound trilene all the way up to 15-pound fluoro. And I left 2 open, but I put some line winding cards in there with the little extra space. But what comes with the bag? So it's 18 bucks for the bag, and they give you a couple of dividers, enough to put 5 spools in. You do have to buy these separate, but this is actually what's gonna keep tension on your line. These are just like elastic things that go around the outside of your spool. Really convenient. So you just take your line right there, stick it through one of the holes, Velcro it down, and then you can choose to put it through the Velcro or not, but the Velcro is gonna hold it in place. So there, you just pull some line out, put this through the second Velcro hole, pull it through, slap it down, and you've got line ready to pull whenever you want. Now, there is a carrying handle. This thing is super heavy duty. It's got a card in here so you can write down whatever you want. The card actually comes out, but then has a cover, so it's not gonna get too wet, hopefully. And then it comes with 2 carabiners. So the way I use this, I actually did a short on this that you guys will be able to see, but basically you can just clip this up anywhere inside of your kayak or your boat. I'm actually gonna leave this as like a spooling station in my sort of workbench where most of my fishing rods are. So when I'm doing prep, I can just pull off what I need, but this is gonna keep your spools protected. Tarpaulin PVC here, so very heavy duty, should last a long, long time. Mostly waterproof, definitely not submersible. Do not put this under the water. 18 bucks on their website. You're gonna have to pay for shipping, but I think they're on Amazon and some other places too. So look around, find the best deal. This thing is pretty rad though. Jeff is gonna keep his in his kayak. I'm gonna have mine as a spooling station. May the best idea win, but I think they're both gonna be great. This is a pretty good idea here. Now this next one's gonna be for you big bait folks. Now I know I'm an aspiring big bait folk. I would like to be a big bait fisherman. I'm just not that that good at it, but I always bring them with me. And when I do, I keep them in this bag right here, which I will actually go get for you. It's the Plano Zrap. Let me go grab that. So this is the Zrap right here. We featured on the channel before. What's nice about this bag is it's got 2 handles. They don't always line up perfect, but it always works. But you get 2 handles, you get 2 D-rings at the top. It has that same tarpaulin, pretty heavy duty. But when it opens up, it has a lot of pouches. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pouches, and you can fit anything from a mag draft all the way up to your larger size swim baits in there. Plastic on this side, but when you spin it around, it's actually mesh. The mesh is awesome and horrible. What's nice about the mesh, it lets air through. So it's actually drying these baits. So if you're like, well, this bait wasn't it, I'm gonna try a different one. You clip it off, you don't have to like leave it out to dry, you can just throw it in here and it's not gonna rust. The problem is, if a hook goes through there, you're never getting it out. So what do? I grab myself some of these hook protectors. They just slide on and off really quickly, but you need to use it for every single bait that has one, which is annoying and another thing you have to buy and keep track of. So like I said, awesome and horrible, but it's also easy to line up. And this is not that big and this can hold a ton of baits. So 50 bucks for this one. This is what I've been using. I've got an alternative for you. The big bait bag from Evolution Fishing. It's got 2 clips on the outside, a zipper here which is actually kind of nice for like terminal. So split rings, which is huge for that, terminal, but leaders, leader line, whatever it happens to be, keep some nice stuff in there for you, which is kind of convenient. But basically you're gonna unclip these and then this thing is going to just roll out. You got clear plastic here, no mesh though, tarpaulin plastic, so PVC, heavy duty backer. And then you do have some grommets here at the bottom. Now these are going to let the water out for you, but that's like only a substantial amount of water. If you put a wet bait in here, it's very likely going to corrode. So you're really gonna wanna dry those baits out. Heavy duty pull tabs allow you to open that and then pop your baits in. A couple things. One, this is good for smaller swim baits. This specific one, same level of quality as that Plano Zrap, maybe even higher because of how much PVC is actually on it. And I do like that there are clamps here. So as a kayak fisherman, I want things to be small and tidy and neat, and this definitely is that. So you can cinch these down or open them up for when you have a lot more baits in there. Not gonna hold a lot, not gonna hold a lot of giant baits, but again, for a kayak fisherman, pretty nice. However, they do have a bigger one. So this one is $45, and this is so the other one is 10 inches, this one is 14 inches wide. Same exact thing here. You get the zipper, so a little bit bigger, you get the 2 clips, and then when you open this thing up, you got some larger pockets here. Now, compared to the Zrap, which is trying to open itself, almost the same width, maybe 16, 15 inches on the Zrap, so almost the same width. Pocket depth is identical. The difference here again is like mesh back versus not mesh back. Now I can see why a lot of people would like this, because once it's in for good. Like you have a bait that's very well protected, but no airflow, so you gotta dry the baits out. Again, pluses and minuses. I also don't have to use all those little hook keepers, which is a huge benefit to me. So 1, 2, 3, 4 pouches, not quite as many as the Plano, but also a little more compact package. So for you big bait guys, here's another way to protect those big swim baits, which are certainly an investment. So Brown Bait Co., I'm looking at you, my guy. He's probably got my entire mortgage in giant baits, that's all I'm saying. So you're definitely gonna wanna protect those, and that's a pretty cool option. Last thing from Evolution Fishing is going to be their Evolution Fishing Bass Sacks. So this is a bait bag, but it can really be an anything bag. They've got 3 different sizes. This is the small. This one is 15 bucks. The medium, which is this one right here, is $17, and then the XL boy right here is 20 bucks. So there's all 3 of them. Now, the way they've got the pricing set up, and this is the same thing with the big bait bag, it's like $5 more for the much larger version. I would be surprised if someone looks at the small one and is like, unless I absolutely can't, if I don't have room for the big one, I'm probably upsizing because it doesn't cost very much. So same thing here, like a couple of bucks goes from the small to the medium. I think they're gonna have a hard time selling this one at what, 15 bucks versus like $17. Like I'm going with this medium one all day. Obviously this is the one that I tested first, but let me just show you some of the features, because there are some cool features about these. First of all, there's no seams anywhere, like everything is welded. So you get a gusseted bottom, not heavily gusseted, but just this like 1-2 inch gusset makes a huge difference in terms of the amount of stuff you can fit inside here. The other thing I really like about what their design was you get this taped seam. Now these are water resistant, they're not waterproof. They've got the tape seam up here, but if you pull, or the tape zipper, but if you pull this, notice how it goes around around the corner. Most bags stop somewhere up here, and you can't really open these very wide, but with that extra little bit, look at how much wider, you can see me right in there, that you can actually open that. It makes a huge difference. They do have a space right here for you to be able to write stuff on there. Granted, it's see-through, so you can see what's in there, but you know, to each their own. And then they've got a heavy-duty D-ring, and this thing is heavy-duty. I had this on my inflatable, and I had it on the back of the highway, and I don't think it moved 1 inch, but I had it there all day with that D-ring, and it was not an issue, and I pulled, just messed with it the whole day. Non-issue. So the medium size has all the same features, again, with a couple more dollars. There's probably 15 bags of plastics in here, and it's a quarter, maybe a third full, so that's pretty nice. And then same exact thing with the XL, again, 20 bucks, but look at how much, like, that's insane. Like, there's a ton of room in there. Similar to the Busby's, except the Busby fast flats a little bit. I'll show you the XL. Like, these have a different purpose, right? They do some of the same things, but obviously the Busby has the heavy duty backer through and through with a clear front. And then, you know, it's almost the same size. They're about the same size, about a 1 inch difference. The difference here is the gusseted bottom, but again, they have different purposes. This is meant to be slim and trim. This is meant to maybe hold a little bit more, which I really like. When it comes to baits, that makes a lot more sense. When it comes to like line and terminal, this is gonna be your option right there. This is a sweet product. We've already started testing it. I cannot wait to see it, how it performs for the rest of the season, and give you guys our thoughts at our end of the year review, where we review all of the stuff that we tested throughout the year. The other thing I am doing is you can see here, I have a bunch of open hook baits. So there's a chatterbait running around here somewhere, a spinnerbait, and then some jigs, just to see if like, can or will I, or what will it take to put a hole in that plastic, because that is the one thing that will kill you. Also, we're here in the Midwest. I'll try and get these out for the winter if I have some opportunities in some like sub-zero temps to see if these crack when they get really cold. That's something we've noticed in the past with different types of PVC plastic. So we'll see how it goes, but so far, banger. All right, next up is another ICAST follow-up, Bambooey Bear. You've seen this on 2 different years of ICAST for us. The first year, it was the drop shot weights. It was the scent injector. So you've seen the scent injector. That's that one right there. And this one's got some scent in it. I'll actually show you how it works real quick here with the new bait, which is the Scoochy Worm. I'll show you this one right now. Oh, this one's actually already set up. That's awesome. All right, so here is the Scoochy Worm. Now, what you're gonna see with all the plastics from Bambooey Bear, which I don't even think have hit their website yet, like it is that new, but what you're gonna see with this is a spot, a cavity for putting the scent. So this is hollow back here, and then this half is not hollow, so it's a normal fill plastic. So what can you do with the normal plastic? Well, you can drop shot it. That's how they have a lot of theirs, and that's where the scent injection is gonna work really well. You can Ned rig it. I messed around with that this weekend, or you can use their football head. So check this out. This is really cool. You can see there's like 2 holes right here at the front of that bait. You can see my hand right through it. That's going to leave a bubble trail as this is falling. And then look at the way that it actually grips the bait. This is really cool too. It's just got 2 prongs, and then it's got a pokey end for actually rigging. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your plastic of your choice, get it started, try and get as straight as you can, and then just push this through, and then wham, you're good to go. Now you've got here a Nico setup, but like, there's this hollow chamber in the back. I don't want to put a hole in that. That's where all the scent is gonna be. So what would you do? So glad you asked. You can actually take one of their metal clips. It looks kind of like a horseshoe, but it has 2 holes in it. You can see right there, a larger one on one side, smaller on the other, and that actually has a perfect spot for a hook. So you just hook through one of these, and now you have an awesome Nico rig. You can put a rattle here in the back. They actually include a rattle and one of these clips in all their bags of plastic, which is awesome. But the nice thing about this hook is, instead of using those wacky O-rings, which means you're still going through the plastic, your hook's not going through the plastic, so you have a much better chance of making your plastic last longer, and it's attached with metal. So when you get another bait you want to use, just slide another one in there. I think this is a really cool innovation. Definitely an upgrade from those rubber O-rings. Now you don't have to hook through this soft portion either, which enables you to put a rattle back there, and they're actually giving you one of those in the packs of plastics, or this is what I would recommend. So you can take your scent injector, just like this one right here, and all you're gonna do is you're going to try and get out of the way here. You're just gonna stick this in the back, and I'll try and make it so you can see it. 1 or 2 little pumps, and that thing is completely full of scent. You can see it starting to come out of the back right there. Super legit. Bait Fuel actually has this design. They worked with Bambooey Bear to take the design and do it with the Bait Fuel brand name, which right now Bait Fuel is probably the biggest name in the game, if not one of them, if not the biggest, when it comes to scents. So this partnership makes a ton of sense. If you're seeing the Bait Fuel ones, just know that they are the same design as these, which I think is really cool. Love to see a small company who's doing big things get big wins. I love to see that. Scoochy Worm is gonna come in a couple of different colors. I have the green pumpkin ones right here. Check those out. And a bunch of other like just sort of standard awesome colors that you want to see in any Ned rig or Nico bait. They've got black and blue right there too. And they have another bait. This one is called the Bogey. Also has, you can see the way the graphic is, they've got a scent chamber in there too. But this is not a paddle tail, but a fluke style fish bait profile standard. I love this white color. They have a green pumpkin and a couple others, but check out the tail here. Boom, look at that. That's really cool. Just something a little different. They actually had this one drop shotted, but I would like to maybe put a little weight in here, get some of the scent cavity in there, and then I would run this in the summer around docks, especially if you just put one little nail weight in the belly, just to have it start with that slow sink. This is gonna be an awesome bait. This is one that's gonna be tried out ASAP. And again, that one is coming with both a rattle, because you know, if you got the injection spot, you can just plop a rattle in there, and it's got that really cool Nico setup too, because this is an awesome Nico bait too. And if you're looking for the most fire hat ever, you could go ahead and swap out to one of these. The Psycho Bear holding up the 2 bass. That is premium. One of my favorite hats rolling these days. 30 bucks for the hat, 15 for the injector, 6 bucks for a pack of those Nico slash wacky metal rings. The drop shot weights, which are insanely heavy duty and insanely quality, are $8 to $11 for a pack of those. So you got to check those out too. I do have 2 pieces of footwear for you. Another one is the Cross Kicks water shoe. I have got about maybe 3 weeks under my belt with these, maybe 4. Initially when I put these on, I was like, man, these things are too small, but I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. And after 2 days loading and unloading, I have fallen in love with them. They have a cork sole. So that cork sole, it's actually gonna fight the smells that you get in a barefoot slash wet shoe quite a bit. It's got this rubber sock, but you can see it really goes down to nothing there. This is just for comfort, and this is for, you know, just drying out as quickly as possible. And then you can see it's got a mesh backed, pretty heavy duty outsole here. These are meant to be soaked. You don't wear socks with these, you soak them and they dry super duper fast. They have holes right here. I have a hilarious, like I've tried to film it a few times, but when you dip your foot in and bring it out, there's just water's just dumping through here. So again, it's one more thing to just get as much water away from your foot as possible, and you just want to dry as quickly as you can. I will say go up at least 1 size. I recommend 1 size up. They run a little small, but when you first put them on, make sure you're really tugging this forward, because it's like a stretchy material. You need to sort of pull it up closer to your ankle, and then the fit just feels much better. Also, this is a really small thing, but something I've really liked. See that little hook right there? That's actually meant to just attach to the front, the lace, the elastic lace. So these are really easy. Just push a button, pull this up, and then they tighten down. I really like these shoes overall. They're super light, and that model is the Tetra, and it's $100, so $99.95 for those. I really like the Under Armour deck shoes, unless you're in a bunch of water, and then if you are in a bunch of water, I like something like the Cross Kicks, because they're just a lot safer. You get a better grip, and then you're not, you know, breaking your back just trying to go home. Staying safe, kind of important when you're fishing. So that's what I've got for you today. Hope you enjoyed this episode of here's a bunch of cool stuff that I got. And hopefully you found this informative, maybe a little bit enjoyable. And if you are interested in more videos like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so that you can see when we post the next video, or come join us on our lives Wednesdays, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. We have a ton of fun there, and you guys can find out what's going on in the world of fishing. And then sometimes we have awesome guests as well. Thanks for checking out the video. We'll see you on the next one. We out.